this short film we're going to meet Emma, who really cares about birds. Have you ever seen baby ducks crossing the road? They look cute, don't they? Here is a willy wagtail searching for insects beside the road. He's flown across it to the other part of his habitat to continue looking for food. Did you know that sometimes, when birds and other animals are going about their life, they're hit by cars and need help? This is the story of Emma. She's a person who cares about birds. Come and meet her and some of the birds. Here she is with her bird Pedro. She has lots of reminders about birds at her place. But when she gets a call about an injured bird, she's off to help. She's on her way to pick up an injured bird. It's a rainbow lorikeet. This is McAllister, a rainbow lorikeet who was hit by a car. He's just spent a month in this small cage with protective screening around it to help kick-start his recovery. Can you see him struggling to move properly? He's got injuries to his nervous system and brain from the high impact of hitting up against a car windscreen. But with perseverance, he's managed to get up onto this perch. Rainbow lorikeets are a small bird that flies quickly across the road in pairs or small flocks from one feed tree to the next, and that might make them hard to see from a car that's travelling too fast. Today he's well enough to be moved to a bigger cage. Here he is just getting used to it, and learning to step up is part of his rehabilitation, and the incentive to try this is the nectar in these red bottlebrush flowers that he'd like to eat. Emma is setting up the cage and putting in some food flowers for him. She's caring for him while he's trying to get well. Why is it that birds and other animals are vulnerable to being hit by cars? Well, habitat, the place that birds and other animals live, has been broken up and divided, or even removed, to make way for roads, cars, houses, villages, towns and cities. That puts them into contact with an environment that they aren't really equipped to live in very safely. So the birds that have survived that process still need somewhere to live, so they try and make a life alongside humans. For example, these endangered bushstone curlews have had much of their woodland habitat cleared to make way for houses, roads, cities and farming. That's why they're endangered. So now they're trying to live beside humans because that's mostly the habitat that's left for them. See how close this bird is to the road and to someone's driveway? In their natural habitat, they are well camouflaged against leaf litter and fallen logs, and they crouch down like this when threatened, trying not to be seen. That's their protection, and it works really well in their natural open woodland habitat. But when curlews live amongst houses, cars and roads, their natural way of protection leaves them vulnerable to being run over. That's because they're active at night on the ground, preoccupied with finding and catching food, hard to see and prefer to stay still, crouch or move away slowly if they are on the road and feel threatened by an oncoming car. Wow, what a beautiful bird. That's Mr. Tawny, a now recovered tawny frogmouth. I'll bet he'll be using those big reflective eyes to hunt small animals and insects at night, so he might easily fly across a road or onto the road when feeding and be hard to see. Luckily, he's benefited from Emma's tender loving care too, and is off to be released now into the bush where he came from. But it's not always a happy ending. See what's happened to this swamp hen? That's why the message of this story is to drive carefully, stick to the speed limit or just below, and watch for the preoccupied incoming birds during the day and at night, as well as those with chicks on the road. Have you ever nagged your parents to slow down when they're driving so they don't hit a bird or run over an animal? If you'd like to, you could let me know about it in the comments section of my YouTube channel, Pandanus Creek Films, and remember to subscribe and turn on your notifications to receive my next nature film and kids activity sheet.